Well, hey there. How's it going, everybody? It's Saturday morning. It's the 13th of November. We'll try to do a pretty quick video because I'm busy too. Although, I got a breather. Like, people are going up, picking up a trailer, going to move a lot of stuff. I got a few minutes to get college basketball and hockey done for everybody. So I did that. We'll briefly talk about hockey. Enormous slate today, and then the rest of the video is going to be college basketball. Enormous slate, 13 games today. My thoughts on hockey are it's a game of bounces. You can't win every game. You can only win about half. So when you find good lines, that's kind of how you play this game. Couldn't be easier. Look for green lines and bet them because hockey's really, really tough. So even though I do a whole bunch of calculations to try to predict these games and it says Nashville is the number one pick of the day, I swear to God, I would tell you take the 240 Arizona like plus 1.5 because it's hockey. I know it's amazing to say that. It's completely against the logic, but hockey is tough. There's a plus 200 line for San Jose over Colorado. I would say take it. Anyway, so I'm not going to go through every game because one, there's just a lot of stuff. Goalies could change. The download link to this file is in the description. You can go to town and try to find some rhyme or reason or sense or something in hockey other than enjoying watching it because it's a fun sport. We got 2 new goalies today, by the way, going in this game. Anyway, all right, that's enough of hockey. So there are no picks on a round robin today because if I'm going to give advice about betting, I am 100% going to give it coming from the college basketball algorithm and not the hockey algorithm because the college basketball algorithm is so much more predictive. How good was it yesterday when all said and done? 54-20, and our home teams go 48-5. I've been making jokes about just destroying everything with this thing. It's really, really good sometimes. So let's talk about college basketball today and see what is in here. What can we do? I just uploaded what I could. A lot of holes all over the place when it comes to spreads and odds. I'm not going to take the time to fix that. Right now, I mean, there's a ton of work that needs to be done, so I just don't have the available. But people have been paying me, so you are going to get more work out of me as we go here. So we're sorting this big old huge thing. This is the first video you've seen from me or whatever. This is a huge grid of the games, and it's trying to show the most distorted matchups, and it is categorized how distorted the matchup is by this margin number. The higher the margin number, the more Michigan is supposed to be better than Prairie View. Michigan is going to be just on the prairie eating, like a fox eating hens today, is supposedly what's supposed to happen. We have projected scores of the games that will change when we apply a home bump to the games. Home bumps are kind of needed every day. I don't know how much the home bump percentage should be, but what it does is it raises the margin by this number when the team is home. So all of a sudden the score of this game just went up, right? It was before 94-53. When we add a home bump, it ends up being 100-48 because the home team does that much better that Michigan is at home. But for the purposes of browsing the day to begin with, I suggest using the neutral site projections amount, which is a 0% bump. It gives you the rawest, basically you want to see what this game would be like without a home bump because it lets you find games that are of more value first. Then you can start looking at the home bump. What I mean by that is, for example, yesterday I said that the gold mine in this file are underdogs that are home. These are gold mine picks at 0% bump. Let's refresh, make sure our bump is right. So the reason why these are gold mines is these are teams that the algorithm says are better than the other team, and they're home on top of that. So we have 3 underdog lines: Jacksonville, UC San Diego, and Siena. Now, one thing we should double check is to make sure that all these teams played games last year, and the answer is they did. So our standings are reasonably acceptable in terms of last season stats, what we got from them. So I can't find any reason on its face not to say that these are 3 great picks. And doing a 3-team round robin, like if it's, say you put like $20 on the 2s and the 3s of a 3-team round robin, that's like, combination 1-2, combination 1-2, combination 1-2, and parlay. That's 4 combinations. If you put $25 on that, on each one of those, that's a $100 total bet. Your payout is going to be at least 4 or 5 to 1 if you hit all 3. And if you hit 2 of them, you're probably going to be up money because there are 2 underdogs. So just love those 3 picks right off the bat. Now there's a whole lot more assessment to go in today, and I mean, I might make a bet later. A lot of these games, God, they're all throughout the day. There's 50 some games, I think, today. I would say that there's so much to go through that I don't even want to try to attempt to do an adequate job in the video. But I will say here's some methods with which you can browse. Okay, and methods would be, I would say, start by looking at your home teams. Just your home teams. You know, we had our underdogs there, which of course are great, but there are other home teams that you'd want to bet. And then look at the lines that are offered here and see if anything is reasonable. And you start to see some 275s and 162 and a 156 with Duquesne and a 110 with Army over Hartford. And I mean, those are some reasonable lines in there. And those are things that the algorithm says win. I don't recommend them taking them minus their points because I don't ever take teams on round robins or big bets minus points. I just take them to win and suffer whatever the line is. Or I'll take teams with points. Like, I mean, 1.5 is not a lot for Jacksonville. You can just bet them on the money line probably. Here, 2.5 with Siena is worth it. I mean, you don't take the plus 125. You take the Siena plus 2.5 actually on a round robin because you got a lot better chance of winning that. I shouldn't say a lot, a better chance of winning that in the game. You give yourself an extra edge with those points. So that's a way to look through the home teams. You know that the away teams, which we have on here, any of those where the margin is less than 20 are very, very questionable picks. And some of these are going to be favorites, but not many. So this is where you start saying, well, what about a 20% bump? How many of those away teams go away? A lot of them. You're just left with Lipscomb, Southern California, Norfolk State, which are favorites anyway. Man, boy are the odds makers using this algorithm to do this with these away teams. That's amazing. I mean, if you go back and look, if we look at the entire list right now, this is how I can kind of tell that they're using the algorithm. This should be descending. As soon as the money line descending looks exactly like the margin, then they are using this algorithm specifically to draw up lines. And I see it starting to break down here. But I mean, I'm just trying to see because we're going to start affecting lines when I do videos, and this becomes almost an issue, which is why I like to put it out to everybody and just let it go into the wild so that we all work with the same information. But like for example, I'll prove it to you today. We'll see if it works. So what did I say? I said that these picks are the 3 picks, and one of them is the best too. This is at 20% bump. You got a couple more underdogs on here. You got Cleveland State and UC Irvine when you got a 20% bump. Let's go back to the 0% bump. I got to get done with this video, guys. So one of these has, bad power. Actually, Siena's got a stronger power than all of them anyway. I'm trying to figure out which of these underdogs is the best. And it's actually Siena. So Siena's raw power strength, is the highest of the 3. Like Jacksonville's a bad team, but North Carolina A&T is also a really bad team. So that's why Jacksonville's supposed to. They're all good picks, don't get me wrong. But Siena's line is the best, and their power is the strongest. And so what was my point of that? About which pick is the best? I don't know, guys. I got too much to do. You can just make me. I would just do this forever. There's just infinite stats to go through. I would say just have fun with this. I'm gonna keep working on it, guys. Good luck. May all your picks be winning.